What was the idea when you formed the band? Did you have any kind of preset idea as far as the kind of music? Did it just kind of evolve, or what was your hope to do, with the band?
Oh, yeah. When we started, actually, we wanted to start as a two-piece, so like drum machine and keyboard and guitar, kind of like Sisters of Mercy is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, we like recorded the album, and then we had a drummer coming in to record the album, and another guitar player to do some solos, and a bass player, and it sounded much better with all that, so we went with a 5-piece.
And for as far as the kind of music, I think what we like to do is just have everything that we like, put it together, and just not be stuck to one kind of thing. So it's not punk rock, it's not rock, it's a little bit of everything, and that's what we like to do.
Well, yeah, we've been trying to not put like any really like limits on what we should do. You know, like my band. I used to be in a band where every time we would write a song, we would be thinking, "Oh, is that fine for us? Doesn't it sound like too different or whatever?" So I was kind of bummed about this. So when we started this band, I was like, well, let's not put any limit to what we want to do. We want to, even if we might lose some crowd or something.
Yeah.
Some people might not like it, but at least we do. So
I mean, if it's good music, let it be.
yeah.
Don't force it. So obviously, LA is where so many of these bands like the Doors and the so many groups over the years come from. What was the decision to move to Los Angeles, and how do you feel with all the creativity out here?
Well, I mean, we came here to record and to play like a few shows. We came like 2 or 3 times. And we liked it a lot, so we figured that we would be better here. Also because there's so many, shows all the time. You can literally see like 1,000 bands every night in this town, so it's pretty crazy. But as far as like the creativity, I'd say it kind of slowed us down, because it's like, it's cool. There's plenty of stuff to do. When back in our hometown, there was pretty much nothing to do but play music. So you get stuff done easier.
Yeah.
And then here you get a lot of how do you say that?
Potential distractions.
Yeah, distractions. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really easy to get lost in the surfing and skateboarding and partying, and there's a lot more going on. So
yeah, I know some groups even from here that will go somewhere isolated to record because there's nothing else to do but record.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's something we love about it too. But it's just, I guess that kind of things takes more time. Probably, set up rehearsals, set up shows, and everything takes a little bit more time because you have stuff to do.
Yeah. Well, tell us about the process of writing the music and recording your latest album. Well, how do you come up with the ideas? What's the whole process like to come with the finished album?
It's usually just, it starts with like a guitar riff. That's what I did for the first record, the second record, and I'm doing it currently for the next one. So like the third one, it starts with a guitar riff that I usually like record on my computer or something, and then I try different stuff, like try some melodies over it, and like try some bass, and then put some keyboard and everything, and see what goes together, and then we end up with like maybe a 30-second or like 45-second bit of a song, and then we try to make it a song. Sometimes there's like, I'm gonna have like 50 of those, so I see that like a bunch of them fit together, so we're gonna put 2 or 3 in one song, and then so basically start with like writing the music, having everything, you know, as we wanted and tied with the music, and then very like at uh, the last at last comes the lyrics. That's the last thing that comes in, because obviously, I mean, we're not English is not
First
or
language.
our first language, so you know it takes a lot of work to write stuff, you know, and I mean it's not we're not really I mean how do you say that? Sorry, I'm gonna try to reformulate the whole thing.
Yeah, I understand. It's the music is the foundation.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
I mean, we're not about lyricist, I guess.
Right,
You know,
right. The words go on top. but
Yeah,
Not,
the
not
words are
necessarily-
based on the music and then the melody of the vocals, and then the words go with that. So it's more trying to find the good word. I mean, even though on this one we worked a lot on the lyrics previous to the recording, and we were helped by one of our friend in he plays in the Vigil. His name is Daniel Siplinski, and so he helped me a lot with that. Like I would come into his place with my lyrics, and you know, well, can you check it out? Is that proper English? Is that can I say it like that? And then he would tell me like, well, maybe you should tweak a few words and like say it this way, and still I would be like, you know, well, that's not gonna work with my melody or something. So we would, you know, work around. So he helped me a lot with the lyrics. So that's that was something that we didn't have on the first record, where you know the English is. I'm sorry,
No problem.
this is crazy.
So, did you know early on that your music would have to be in English to have the best chance to get out to the world?
Yeah, and I mean, you know, like we've never really thought that my other band before was in English too, and I don't think I've never even listened to like French rock. I don't
Just
think
doesn't really work.
yeah, I don't think the language really has the good
It's not aggressive, I would say.
I don't know, it's just like the sound of French doesn't really fit with rock and roll. So. And I mean, most of the bands that we know in France, most of our friends' band and everything that are like in rock and roll, punk rock, metal, and everything, they pretty much all sing in English. It's just a matter. But the thing in France is that nobody really understand what you're saying if you sing in English, so you don't really care about what you're saying. You know, you can like just a few words that sound English that might not even be, you know, mean anything, but it's just, well, that's an English word, so let's put it together. The melody works with that; it sounds fine. That's how we started, at least. You know.
Sure.
But then we got here, and then we're like, oh, but people now understand these words and
Yeah.
they don't mean anything. So that's also why we really try to spend more time on the lyrics on the second album. Also because we've been here for a few years, so our English is a little better. But that was important for us too, to have something that sounded right.
Yeah, because now we can understand what we're saying too. So
Yeah.
we don't want it to be embarrassing, you know.
Sure. Well, I mean, you know, the vocals can essentially be like another instrument, like you say. I mean, we all know classic records. We don't know what they mean anyway.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right.
but it's nice to know that you have, you know, more of a command. You're able to communicate more, and
Well, at least it's got to sound like it means something.
yeah, that's great. Now, besides performing live and making great music, are there any other tools or, you know, social media, anything that you're doing now to help get the music more exposed or to keep in touch with your fans? How are you doing that?
Well, I mean, you know, we've done a bunch of videos, like music videos or like acoustic video, or I mean, that's kind of something you have to do nowadays if you want to put it out there. You know, I remember when we did our first record, we did a music video like right away, and that was it was kind of, you know, a big deal at the time, because a lot of bands around us didn't have music videos, and it wasn't still, you know, we didn't have any like I mean, it was 2009, so I guess you could have gear, to film a music video. But if you wanted to have like really music video quality, it would be like really expensive material still. You couldn't. I mean, it was kind of like not the beginning of YouTube or something, but it was still hard to to get the good gear and the people like to do it.
Yeah.
When nowadays you can like buy a professional, like something that's gonna, even a phone is gonna look pro, you know.
Yeah. No, I knew like 10 years ago making a music video was like
Oh yeah.
making a movie, you know,
Yeah,
it costs
definitely.
like tens of thousands of
Tapes,
dollars and big director and whatever. But yeah, now it's really more along the recording process, you know, it's
Yeah.
something more basic or creative that even the band can do themselves.
Well,
you know.
actually, we did our music video that we did for the song Riot. We did with one of those GoPro
Yeah.
cameras. They're like big like this, and you wear it on like a head strap. And took us like an hour and a half to do, and the budget for the video was like $10. That was just what we needed to buy a few light bulbs, and that was it.
Yeah, a no budget video.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yes.
And no, we did it by yourself. Like nobody. Well, one of our friend was helping out, just because he wanted to. But we could have done it, you know, just the band.
That's great. Now you're seeing here in America more and more festivals. You know, they've obviously always been popular in Europe and France and Germany and UK, and now, especially with the success of Coachella, you're seeing Bonnaroo and Outside Lands and more festivals, you know, coming to America. What's your feeling about those? And you feel that this might be, you know, more opportunities for the band to get heard?
Yeah, I mean that's something that we'd love to do. I'm not really big into like going there as a as a spectator, because I'm kind of scared of crowds and stuff like that, you know. And it's so gigantic, and
They always take place in the summer when it's really
that
hot.
too.
Yeah.
And even at Coachella, it's I mean, we've never been, but it just looks so difficult to stay there for 3 days under the sun, the heat, and
But yeah, like play there, man. That would be
Tiring.
playing there with any festival. There's a whole lot of festivals, even in LA, that are really interesting.
And I think like something like Coachella is still like really different than what we used to in Europe, because in Europe, like the festival crowd is more, it's really more like I guess for people like us, you know, like more like working class, or like because it's pretty cheap, you know, like you'll get a pass for like 3 or 4 days for like 80, $100 maybe, and the beer is gonna be like $2 or something. When something like Coachella is like what, it's $400 for. So yeah, I think I feel it's more like a higher class type of thing. Like you need to have, you know.
And also the crowds are a little different. Like in France, or in France and in Europe, there are a lot of festivals, so you choose to go to see some specific bands. Here at Coachella, people just go because it's Coachella. It's a little different approach, where in France you're going to be like, oh, there's like 10 festivals, I'm going to pick these 2 because those are the bands I want to see.
Most of the time, though, like if you look at the festivals in Europe, it's the same bands playing pretty much every one of them.
Sure.
And it's they're not far apart too, so you know you can really like you can drive 5 hours and see the same lineup.
Right.
Like the next.
A lot of them are out in the countryside where there's big open fields. Yeah. Well, yeah, it seems like the concert business here is becoming bigger and bigger business, so costs a lot more to put on the shows and book the artists, and hence, you know, higher
But I
ticket
mean, there's
price.
still a lot of like festivals that are more affordable too, but Coachella in particular seems to be more for like I guess richer people at least, you know.
Yeah, it's a higher end, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, definitely more expensive.
So I mean, we'd love to play there, but I think people would probably hate us there.
Well, no, it's a good opportunity. I'm sure you'll be getting some festival offers soon. Now, how much of America have you seen? How many cities have you performed in so far?
Not a lot. I mean, we went, the first tour we did here, we went to Northern California, We went to like Sacramento,
Stockton.
Stockton was a great show actually.
Mm.
Vegas, San Diego.
Las
Mhm.
Vegas, San Diego,
Mhm.
yeah. And then other than that, we've been to New York once, but not as a band,
Mm-hmm.
for like a few hours only.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, we didn't see much. We'd love to see more, but same thing, distractions, You're like,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
let's go on a road
Mm.
trip or something. Yeah, but there's a party going on, so we're gonna stick around, and then maybe like later or whatever. So, but we'd love to see like the whole country. It would be great,
Yeah.
There's so many places
Yeah, it is
that looks
big.
amazing. And
Sure, sure. Now, tell us about the origin of the name. How did you come up with the name for the band?
At first we were called S, just S, the letter S,
Mm-hmm.
because we thought that X was cool. So like,
Mhm.
yeah, well,
Mhm.
let's try to be cool too. And then when people would ask us like, well, how can I find more about your band? Would be, well, look us online, and then people would go on Google or like whatever search engine they would
Mhm,
use
mhm.
and type S, and then if you type S on Google, you're not gonna show up in there.
Mhm.
there's a lot of things that's gonna show up before you, and it was really like people had a hard time, finding us, and understanding that S was our name. So we were called S for like what 2 months or something,
Mm.
and then we had a song called Sinner Sinners, a sinner without the S actually.
Mhm.
As kind of a tribute to the Damned record.
Mm.
So we were like, yeah, well, that would be cool for a name. And I mean, we don't believe in we're atheists,
Yes.
so in that way, like the name doesn't really have a meaning to us. But it was kind of we were playing around with that at the beginning. We had like a friend dressed up as a reverend on the posters and stuff. We were playing with like the imagery.
Mm.
Yes.
Sure, sure. Now, who are some of the artists out there today that you like or you're inspired by?
Oh, a lot too.
Mhm.
Well, unlike the current bands that are still around or they're still releasing stuff, I would say like the Black Angels, the Hives, Turbo Negro, the Bronx in LA. I don't know if you heard of them. Gvelertak is it's pretty new. I mean, their first record came out like a few years ago.
Do you say Turbo Negro?
A band from Norway, Gvelertak.
Yes.
What they do is amazing. They kind of like mix everything together. If we've been compared to them as like for mixing different styles of music without they like some people think they're a metal band, but they consider themselves as a punk band, and they have some like almost pop music parts in their songs. It's kind of all over the place. I think it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very tight and great on live.
That's
Yeah.
one of the best shows we saw like
Yeah.
in the past 2 years.
That's
Definitely.
right.
amazing.
Now, when you write the material, are you thinking about the performance at all? Do you
Yeah.
start to think about what songs will work live or what
Well,
you'll
especially
present?
I know on our side, because we sing, we have to make sure that whatever vocal part or guitar part. Well, it would be more like the vocal part because it comes after.
Mm-hmm.
We would make sure that we can actually sing our vocal part on top of playing our instrument. That we're not if we're doing something that's like kind of if you need all your focus on your guitar or your keyboard, you're not going to be able to sing over that. So we got to make sure that it fits together.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of part of the process.
Yeah.
You're making the music for the recording, but you're thinking about what will
Yeah,
work
yeah.
live.
Yeah, I mean the live is really the most important thing. Like we also like make this. We also write the song in order to be like to we want them to be interesting song to play live. There's like many song ideas that we had that would be maybe good on the record, but that we would not play live, and so we just put them on the side for now, and they might get released someday, you know, but it's not our priority right now. We wanna make sure that we can like play every song live, and that they're, you know, we have fun playing them, and that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Now, with everything that you've been through and that you've seen in the business, what advice do you give to young creative people that want to sing and play and, you know, form a band? What do they need to focus on, or what to stay away from?
I don't know.
Do what you want to do. Play
Yeah.
the music you want to play. Just have fun, enjoy it. But
That's I think that's the most important.
Do
And
it
if
for the
someone
love.
likes it and happen to pick up, just I guess don't follow the trends, you know.
Right.
don't give up, even if sometimes it's not always easy. And sometimes you're like, oh my God, this is never gonna work. But just keep going.
So do it for the love of it and stick
Yeah.
with it, what you believe in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, we've very early on with the band, we've signed a deal with Universal Music.
Mm-hmm.
So right away they're like, oh, you guys should do a radio song or whatever. You guys should do that. Maybe you should dress up like that or whatever. Like, no. You know, it's like it's something like that. We had to tell them like from day one, like, fuck you. It's not gonna happen. You know,
Mhm.
we'll keep doing what we want to do, and so I guess that's why it didn't really work with them. But
Sure. Yeah, I
don't
mean,
compromise. You know.
why did you sign us if you want to change us?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's important. Well, these days there's so many more opportunities for the independents, you know.
Yeah.
Great independent distributors and companies and new technology companies helping people discover new music and, you know, check out, you know, new bands. What do you feel as far as some of the advantages of the independent side of things as opposed to the corporate side?
Well, I think the best of it is that you can have control on what you're doing, and then the other part that, well, like our record just got released, we did everything by yourself. It's all like DIY. We financed the recording, came up with the video ideas and financed the videos and the promotion and, you know, everything. Like, there's no outside help for this record, so that's something that's really cool to do because we can really do it how we want it to be done. But on the other side, it's a lot of work, you know, and you realize that, wow, that's because basically if you put it together, what we've been doing on this record is like we've been doing the job of like maybe 10 people, and it takes a lot of, you know, time, and it's a lot of
Energy.
pressure.
It's a little stressful, but at least you do what you want to do.
So that's
and
the
how-
downside. That's
Sure.
the downside of it. But I mean, I wouldn't. We're like the next record. I really hope we're gonna be able to do it this way too, because that's
Yeah. Well, the upside is you own your own music,
Yeah.
and you get to reap the rewards, you know, as things happen for the band.
you do. Yeah, and
It's
you
not
really-
another company taking it away from
exactly. And owning the music, I think, is really important because I have a few friends that were in band that got signed on record label, and then at a point where the record label would show up to the studio with them and be like, well, maybe we should change that chorus, or maybe we should do that, and basically like the what do you say, A&R
you. Yeah,
would rewrite the record,
yeah.
and
Turns out that album
turned
killed
out
their
they
career.
yeah, that's that was a terrible move for their career, and they hate it, and so, well, they came back from it, you know, but that wasn't their record anymore. They're like, well, you know, we did that, but that's not what we wanted. So that's yeah, we don't want to fall into that thing. I think it will. I mean, it's never gonna happen because we're too much assholes about it. So
Well, you guys are making great music. We can't wait to see more of it. What do you hope to continue to do with your career?
playing more shows.
Absolutely. Going on tour.
doing more
After
tour,
all.
playing more shows, definitely.
More fans, more music, more
Yeah.
opportunities.
And do keep doing what we like. You know, I don't think we'll keep. I don't think we will on the next record. I don't think we'll do more of the same because that's not what we're about. So we're gonna do something different, and make sure that's something that we like at the moment. If people like it, good. If we lose a bunch of fans, that's probably gonna happen too. I guess that's what you do at every record you release. It's fine with us too, as long just want to keep having fun. That's all it's about.
Yeah.